Being recorded. Hello everyone. Today is 28th February 2024. Welcome to SIG Node CI weekly. I don't see a lot of items on the agenda. I just added this one from the previous time since we hadn't looked at it. Um, so uh, the pull Kubernetes local E2E is failing, and we tried increasing the timeout here to 30 seconds as a remedy, but even that failed. And I still see that process did not finish before the timeout. So, does anyone have any idea how this can be fixed, or who can help us here?
Yeah, I have pushed a PR, which I try to fix this, but I cannot test it in since so there is a PR.
Yeah, last time I was trying to find someone who can help us here. I don't see anything in the logs other than the timeout, right?
Yeah,
No.
exactly. So I think the failing is this Docker in Docker. So it's at the Docker. So I've pushed a PR which I'm trying to fix this. I don't know if they are linked in this.
This one, right?
No, this is the previews, which didn't time out, and then I will put it in the chat for a moment.
Okay. Okay. But even with that one, it's not, it's still failing, right?
Exactly. So I post the PR where it does a timeout of 30 for stopping the service, and then if not, it kills it after a timeout of 30. I will put now the PR in the chat.
Okay. Um, I don't really know what else can we try because it's just the timeout error that's happening. Sergey, do you have any comments or who we can reach out to help us here?
Yeah, I haven't looked at test. Do you know what does it wait?
What did you say?
Do you know what does it wait for on its timeout?
I don't know.
It is the service stop of the Docker. So I put in the chat the pull request.
Okay. And you said it still did not fix it, right?
And no, I cannot test it. I test it in my local machine, but I need someone. I don't know how can this be tested in this environment.
Do you know why we need Docker and Docker there?
I don't know, but it was there.
Okay. I'll still keep it in the list and I'll try to debug this with Sergey after the meeting then.
Okay, I put in the chat the pull request for you to see. It's 32025.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, we have one more here by Peter.
Hey, just a quick review request. I don't really need it. I don't think it needs much discussion. Just wanted to put that out there because I'm blocked on that for some kept work. So
Okay. So you just need an approver, right?
yeah,
Sergey, should I assign it to you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we are done with the agenda then. Uh, moving on to the test grid. Just a flake. Okay. We want to see if the previous flakes are same or is it different test. Yeah, it's the same test. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
there's already an issue up for this one. I think someone said they were going to look at it this week.
okay. Sounds good. And SIG Node kubelet. Not that flaky, I would say. This has been failing for a while. Looks like it's related. Oh no, this is a different test.
Yeah, this one, I was looking at this. I don't know why, out of nowhere, these things have started timing out. Like they were passing for a while, and then in the last like 3 days, they were kind of failing, and then
But these are all different. Oh no.
yeah, I mean, if you scroll to the right, you'll see that it was passing at least a little bit. I mean, the serial
Okay.
tests are always flaky. There's a
Mm.
lot of issues there, but if yeah, and then I was trying to see if there was a kernel update in the Ubuntu ones, but
But I see all different tests failing at each run. It's not the same tests, at least.
it's a timeout. That's the issue.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
single one of these, it's exceeding the limit of the
I
test.
see.
What I don't quite understand is why it wasn't for a while. Now it is. I guess maybe someone added a longer test. So I mean, we could bump the timeout of all these. Or we don't have many Ubuntu serial jobs running, so it's
Okay. Um, Maybe I'll as well look at this one and see if we have added any new tests. And we don't see any other changes here, right? Because it's only the timeout, so it should be either more tests or some changes in Ubuntu, right?
yeah. I mean, we're always updating the kernel. So that's always my first thing when these things start failing out of nowhere. I just like try to see if there's a kernel update that's causing them to take
Okay.
longer. But
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I'll take a look at this one as well and confirm. Signode container D. Oh, this has been failing for a while now. Um, oh yeah, I was supposed to mark this one as flaky and remove it out. Sorry, my bad. I did not follow up on this. Killer test. Everything else looks fine here. Guess device plugin GPU. Um, Ed was looking at this one, the test related to device plugin, or was it a different test? Let me see what is it failing.
This seems to be not even starting.
Yeah, this looks like a different one. Do we have any idea about this? Is anyone looking at this?
What's weird to me is, well, actually, that there are two different. There has been some chatter about these tests, especially because sent I think in the release signal channel. Uh,
These were are these the same that Ed was looking at? In which he mentioned that the actual thing was not being tested. Device plugin GPU instead of industry plugin.
I mean, I think there's a few issues. One was I don't think we want to be using GPUs in the CI, but I think that if you look at, well, there are some other tests. I don't know. They're all kind of labeled differently, but like I just pasted an issue where they did flag a separate GPU plugin test as almost a release blocker.
Mm-hmm.
it was failing on SIG release. I don't know if it's the same
Okay.
job. Actually, it might not be.
Doesn't look like, right? This is. Okay, so we need to verify whether these are the same. This is the same job. ARI.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be different jobs just because one's a pre-submit and the other is periodic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But this
So
one, they were concerned with the infra flakes, and I know there was some requests over the weekend about whether or not they should hold the release for 1.30 on this because it's in the master SIG release master blocking test lane. But
okay. But at least there is an issue to track this, right? Can I assume that? Because it looks related, at least the error.
yeah, I mean it's related to the pre-submit, not the periodic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll follow up on this one. For cryo, this has been failing for a long time now. Is anyone looking at this one?
I looked at it months ago. I couldn't figure out why. But I mean, the issue, if you check into it, it's running all the tests and timing out, and then for some reason, this job is not logging to the test grid. I never got help from SIG testing on it. Kind of got this is SIG node. They should own this. But it's not really clear to me, like, why this one job won't post its results to the test grid.
You did say that it's timing out.
Yeah, you can. I would go to the artifacts and go to build logs. That's usually what I do to check this stuff.
So will it help you increase the timer?
No, I mean, I tried that. It's running at 4.5 hours already. I think I did increase the timeout. It didn't fix it. I could increase it more and try and see, but
Okay. Do you want to give it a try and then we can follow up again in the next meeting on this one?
I'll
If
yeah.
the, I
Right.
mean, if the timeout doesn't fix it next time, we'll probably look around for more people to help them.
Yeah, I mean, it's at 4.5 hours already, though. I don't know if
Yeah.
like we really should have a longer timeout than that.
Okay. Sergey, do you have any comments here? What do we want to do about this test then? Do we want to, who do we ask for more help here?
Yeah, it's degrading even more, right? So it used to be
Yeah.
just one failure, and now it's a lot of
Yeah.
them.
Yes. Almost failing all
I
the
mean,
time.
definitely let's create a bug. I don't know if you have a bug now, but we need to start with filing a bug, I
Let me
think.
find it. I created one like 6 months ago on it. I'll see if I can find it again.
Yeah, maybe update the details, saying that we have more failures now. Yeah, we'll need to find somebody.
Yeah. And then this one, node E2E eviction for C group E1. Again,
So,
this is,
just to be, can we check on containerd? Are those tests also started failing, or we only see degradation cryo right now?
I don't see any failure here related to eviction.
I
Yeah.
mean, there should be failures because we have
Oh,
this.
there are failures here as well.
Or
This is the same case.
we don't run as many tests, so that's concerning. Like typically when we have some kind of test failures like started appearing. Like I really like to compare CRI and containerd.
So the main problems we're dealing with the eviction are PID stats are returning. There are no, like, containerd is returning 0 process stats, and that completely messes up the PID eviction. And then the disk one, not exactly sure. But that's kind of the main difference I see between cryo and containerd.
But for cryo, you mentioned that the tests were passing at least, right? It was just not posting the results? Or do we have no idea?
You're talking about two different things. Sergey is talking about the serial tests are not, yeah, there's an issue there. And then the eviction ones, what I'm trying to say is that
I see.
there is a serious problem in this. There is a PR up to fix it, but there's still flakiness from these tests regardless of that. I know that some of it is the stats. The stats can be a bit flaky and intermittent, and if there's any kind of network failure, we evict whatever had a network problem. We evict that pod. It's by default in the eviction manager, so sometimes you can see flakes from that. And then
Okay.
also PIDs are returning 0 process count, so I don't really know, like, the PID tests are sort of luck of the draw, whether or not they're actually working.
Do we have an issue for this?
Yeah, there are plenty. I think we have an issue, some PRs up for this. There was one from almost a year ago around the process count stuff in the eviction manager.
Okay. Sergio, do you think we should prioritize this one? Eviction related tests?
Yeah, we failed to prioritize for 2 years now. So uh, yeah, my only concern, like when it was like couple tests that we know about, it's fine. But now this tab looks completely different. We have way less tests, and
Mm-hmm.
cryo is way more red. So I think now it's like in the past I can discount it to some known issue. We know that we kind of knew that it's some infrastructure problem. Some disk is not filling up too quickly, or some like metrics is not returning good enough. But now it feels that there are different problem, something more serious.
Okay. I'll follow up on this one as well then. And try to see at least and if there are any comments on the issues. Do you want to look at any other specific tabs or are we good?
So there was some buzz about NPG tests. If you can switch to NPG, I
Uh,
think some of them are in serial and such. Oh, okay, this tab is green. So okay, so those tests were likely in serial or some other folder. So it's fine.
um,
Yeah, no need to look at it.
okay. So we are good with the test grid then?
Yep.
Sounds good. Moving to the test triage dashboard. There are 20 issues. Start with this one. Process starts with PID fix, kind bug. Uh, the third commit will fix the container DC advisor summary A2A.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to reproduce. If you go and view the PR, you can it's pretty easy to reproduce this. You can just bump up the end-to-end tests for process stats. If you, like, down there, we have the summary tests. I'm assuming BusyBox should at least have one process, but it's always returning 0. And then you can get this as an end-to-end test failure. So that's at least process stats we're returning always 0. It is not clear to me why Paco's fix works for Cryo stats provider, but not for the state advisor stats provider. That was not clear to me. And I don't know if this fully fixes the flakes of the eviction tests. some of these are just like other issues we've tried. Like I noticed that there were flakes in the pod disruption condition part of it, or they were less flaky in pod disruption conditions, and we were using different process count for those. So this was kind of trying to get them all to be the same. And then there's a fix here. I mean, it would be nice to, it would have been nice to fix the C advisor stats provider, but I don't have time really to look into that, or like I'm not really sure why C advisor is returning 0 stats for cryo.
Where are you seeing that? The C advisor returning 0 stats for cryo?
Locally testing it. I think the original assumption, sorry, if you click back, this is an issue that David Porter opened up about a year ago. Yeah, no wait. I think that links to an issue. Nope, doesn't. Try the other link. Maybe not. There was an issue. It was linked to an issue at one point. Oh wait, no, there, cross-reference.
This
Yeah,
one?
so this was last year, I guess, that's showing that you can easily reproduce this with just hitting the Cube API's summary, and you can see that the processes are 0.
Okay.
I was thinking, at least for debugging this, what might be nice is getting in cryo tools stats, actually getting some of this process stuff just to quickly kind of see where this problem is coming from, because it's pretty easy to reproduce. Like you can use the eviction PID test, or you can use
As
the
a
eviction.
note, oh sorry, just as a note, Kevin, the we wouldn't be able to see the stuff from C advisor with CryCuddle. That wouldn't pass through that path. So that wouldn't solve the C advisor issue. It would help us in the situation of debugging the CRI stats provider endpoint, though.
So, what's the action item here? What do we want to do? Do you need help in fixing the C advisor stuff?
I mean, I have I'm not really prioritizing this one right now. The kept stuff. It's I've been working on the eviction tests on the disk stuff mostly, and PIDs in one case, but it's too many things wrong with these tests at this point.
Okay.
I mean, like we could try. Ideally, we could get some reviews of this one, and then maybe we at least fix the container cryostats.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I think that's a good approach, is fix it in one place and then keep a follow-up issue or something for the advisor stats provider issue.
Yeah, the issue is it probably doesn't fix. I don't know if it fixes the flakiness of the eviction tests. Actually, I don't even know if this one fixes it. Looking at, oh no, it for cryo.
Okay.
Well,
I'll reach out to David Potter to quickly review this one then, and then we can follow up on the C advisor later. Does that sound good?
yeah.
Yeah, and I can give a review on it as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think to fix this one, we may have to relax the summary stats, because that adding a test to summary, that's what the issue is failing in cryo, because it's a valid problem. But we probably don't want to block everyone. We probably don't want this as just showing the tests red right now. We can always add it as a separate test case later on.
Okay. Should I CC you, Peter, on this one?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Allow almost all printable ASCII characters and environment variables. This is a kind feature.
I think if this is the test one, I think we can archive it and then we need a review of the actual code changes.
Yeah, this is the actual code, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I think we're in the lane of reviewing tests, and I think that this is a feature, and it is the author didn't write it, but I do believe this was an improved KEB, so I think it should be. So yeah, for that one, archive.
Okay, thank you. Mark jobs as flaky and move them to a different job. I think we discussed this one last time. Uh, do you already have an LGTM? You need people to look at it. Okay, so general LGTM. So what do we want to do here? What are the next steps? So Francesco is mentioning that he has mixed feelings about these, right?
I mean, they're in the release block, and like we just need to make sure that we run those flakes. Maybe we need to double check that we have a job for that.
Yeah, I have a separate. Why don't you hold this one and then I'll finish a different one. I have a PR in test infra to actually have a serial to run all the flakes in a swim lane. So that way, when we mark these as flaky, they actually will be run. Uh,
Okay.
I'll unhold this one once I get the other test infra one wrapped up. I think Ed had one change on it that I needed to fix.
Okay. So should I keep it as is then?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Add flaky serial kubelet tests. This is the one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was the one. I think there was one outstanding item from Ed. I don't know if it's necessary.
I don't see Ed's comment. Oh, okay.
It's
So,
further down, I think, if I remember right. If you, no, let's scroll down one more.
this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the node special feature, node alpha feature stuff is. We could probably, if those are not valid anymore, we probably could clean those up as a separate item in a lot more places than just here.
Okay.
A lot of these labels were deprecated at one point, but I don't know if we've actually followed up with the test infra stuff to remove some of these.
Yeah. Sergey, I did see a doc somewhere about the deprecated labels. Do you have an idea? Or maybe we can clean that up and make it available easily so that everyone can read which labels are deprecated and which ones still exist.
Yeah, we have it in one of the caps. I can dig up the link.
Yeah,
We
we
didn't
can.
make the documentation yet. Let me. I will take it as an action item. Can you
Okay,
mention the interest?
sure.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll add you later. I'm not able to find you.
Yeah, I meant on PR. Like if you can mention
Oh,
me on PR.
Yeah, I mean it's up to you all on this one. Like I can update uh, add changes here, or we could merge this one as is, and at least have a job for running the flaky test and kind of keeping it the same as what it was before.
okay. I think we kept most of the bugs in here. Use canonical JSON patch v4 import. This is kind cleanup. The canonical import for JSON patch v4 is this. Use the v4 specific paths should reduce the risk of unwanted V5 upgrade attempts. What is this?
I don't think
Yeah, it
it's.
feels like a bigger PR that is not related to this team.
Should I just remove?
Yeah, just archive it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you remove it, it will come back to us because labels are uh, automatically assigned.
Okay. Is this in SIG Node PR triage though?
There probably is some SIG node components if it's labeled. I haven't looked at this one.
Yeah, maybe they touch some files on kubelet and on
Okay.
tests, and that's why it marks as SIG node. It typically is SIG architecture code organization shouldn't be related to us.
Okay. Sounds good. Um, add E2E test for proc mount type. I think this is related to some cap. And Peter is adding E2E test probably.
Yeah, this one is almost ready. It's relying on that PR that I posted earlier that Sergey said to review, and then also I'm working through some integration and unit test failures as well. But so it's on its way, but it's not quite ready yet.
Okay. Um, what do we want to mark this one as then? You're still working on it, right?
Yes.
All right. So, should I mark this as waiting on author?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'll move it to needs reviewer when it's ready.
Okay. Thank you. Annotate persistent volume with schema validations. Kind feature. Updates this. This looks like feature. Yeah, this looks like feature to me. Should I archive it as well? Can someone confirm?
Yes.
Thank you. We have around 20 minutes. I'll just walk over two more and then we can move to the bugs triaging. Kind bug. Automatic reloading of root save file based on the idea from this. This looks like a bug that needs to be triaged properly.
I think you can archive this one. At least anything that seems to be API machinery.
Yeah.
I think it's just.
But does this require triaging from our end? The signal?
In a separate part, yeah, maybe, but it's WIP right now. I don't know what this is, but I'm sure changes in client go impact kubelet at one point.
Okay. API machinery, API emulation versioning, kind feature. Step 1 to add API compatibility versioning.
Same thing, probably.
Okay. Anish, do you want to do the bugs triaging? Anish, you're muted.
Yeah, sure.
Anish is doing it for the first time. He would need help with the labels as well. And I will stop sharing.
I don't have permission to share my screen.
Um,
You need to make him co-host. You're the host right now.
I just changed it to all participants. Does it work now?
Yes.
Cool. Over to you then.
Can you see the dashboard?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one request. I think one's at the bottom of this one. It was an issue that was reopened. I was kind of working on it. Sorry, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
I pasted in the chat. It was reopened at one point. I'm just curious if we can go over the updates to this one.
Ephemeral storage limits,
Yeah,
error,
so
container status.
I can go quickly over it. Generally, there's quite a few things in here. I think that someone asked to reopen this one because they were seeing the container status unknown. If you scroll to the bottom, it's really the last part of this is what I want to bring it up. So I tried to reproduce this. I can't on a cryo side. If you grow up one more comment, I believe. I was just kind of curious. They shared a little bit about the logs around like, there's an eviction because of ephemeral storage limits. They say they're not at no disk pressure and they see container status unknown. I don't think there's enough in the logs, and they're of course saying that they can't give us logs because of privacy reasons. I don't really know what else to do in this issue. I have not been able to see the container status unknown. I tried on the 1.29 is what I believe, or they were 1.28.
So you weren't able to repro, or
No, I tried. That's an example I have of. I mean, they were saying it's unclear. Like I see when I use this pod, I do see evictions, which is not really the issue they were pointing out, but it's the fact that they get a bunch of container status unknowns. Uh,
okay, so they have unknowns and we see evictions. Did you share the kubelet log?
they did. They shared a snippet of it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I said that I don't think it's enough. They say that privacy reasons they can't share more than this. They want to know like what else we could share. I mentioned that there were things like the pod failed to event. There was a timeout waiting to kill. They seem to lose the pod status, and that's why it got unknown. But it's not really clear to me like what other logs we would need to debug this.
Say again about timeout.
Error.
Is it something you guessed based on code, or they guessed based on code?
I think if you scroll up a little bit more, maybe not there. Oh yeah. No, sorry, this one. Sorry, you went too far. The container could not be located when the pod was terminated. Yeah, that one. And it's like, I don't really know how you get into a state like this. And then what's interesting also is the state started and finished is completely messed up.
Okay. Is it containerd or CRI? Do you know?
But the exit code that is 137, does it relate this with memory or?
Uh, this one is, they're saying it's ephemeral storage eviction. I don't know I forgot how we set the exit code. I think is 137 our eviction exit code.
No, that's just the generic code when a SIG kill is issued. So it could be like an kill, or it could be like cryo issuing a kill or CRI.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking with the person about it, and I wasn't really sure like what else to do for, especially if they like, uh, there were a few things here. I think one, obviously, like if you look at it, there were a lot of issues in this issue. There was a pod garbage collection. They were saying that these pods should be terminated. That's not really true. But then someone else brought up this container status unknown. That is weird. Should not be happening. Should be fixed. uh, but if I try to follow the pod ephemeral local storage evictions, I don't see it. It seems to be a problem more at scale, maybe not at scale, but when they have a lot of this happening.
I don't see any error logs in this snippet.
But you have managed to reproduce it, or
No, I can't reproduce it. I mean, I'm seeing evictions, and I see the status goes to error, which is kind of what I expect. So I don't know. I mean, the reason why I brought it up is because I think there was like trying to get some other people to weigh in on this one if you scroll, because like I think that we probably need logs of container RD and kubelet. They aren't really comfortable sharing the entire log dump because of
Do you
privacy
know
reasons.
why? Because based on what they suggest is there is like pod spec and or is it the image is private?
And then can you scroll down? There's more information. Like, no, sorry, there's not this. This person reopened it. Yeah. Sorry, a little bit more.
No worries. This one?
I think it's one more comment past this. No, I'll find it. I'll read it.
So yeah, I look at this comment we just passed by. So they posted this one posted the spec and the list of containers is basically all the public containers. I'm trying to understand why they're not comfortable sharing kubelet log if it's all public. I would even ask like, can you share the whole image? I don't understand what private in their kubelet log. Unless they have either special like some pod they're not talking about or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just I don't really know how to test these type of like. Yeah, and like there's a lot of. I think some of it was the original issue. I think was actually, well, the person had pretty low limits. Like I don't like they were like 15 kilobytes or something was on their pods, which some contain like I don't think Cryo even supports that low. So I was curious about like if they were getting into some other issues, but I haven't been able to see this, so I haven't been able to reproduce it. If anyone has any other ideas.
I think at this stage we need to ask for better repro and for full kubelet log.
yeah,
Maybe we need to say that in a comment you posted there is nothing that seems to be public or private, so we don't really understand the concern. ultimately we are not a support here. Like we're trying to help people and understand the problems, but if they have some secret sauce that they don't want to share, we cannot help.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
So we want to ask if we can how to
Uh,
reproduce and
but
what kubelet and container log or cryologs.
yeah, but actually, I've been checking the script they have, the container they're testing. I don't know if they run a lot of containers and they are doing an allocation of memory of 4 kilobytes. I don't know if.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is there's like two different things. Like the McGrath person has a repro case, pretty low limits. And then somebody like 2 days ago or maybe yesterday asked to reopen this issue because they saw the container status unknown. And that's the person that I was trying to understand how they got into that state they were on GKE. So there's like different people. So I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, back to the dashboard. The first issue that is this persistent thread and memory allocation by kubelet post workload. Uh, what happened? Kubelet does not release threads and their associated memory allocation after handling high workloads, leading to inefficient resource usage and potential node performance degradation. Expected kubelet to free up threads and memory resources once the workload decreases, returning to baseline resource usage levels.
Yeah, that person came to a SIG Node at some point. I remember they discussed that they allocate a lot of pods and remove pods, and they expect that all the threads that Golang will utilize will be free up. And I think what discussion came to is we said that it's really up to Golang to free up resources. Yeah, I think it's just follow-up from the discussion person asking if we have any best practices or something. Peter, I think you commented on a number of threads that we can set on Golang, or like number of CPUs we can reserve for kubelet. Was it you? I may space out.
I don't remember, but possibly I need to sort of refresh my cache here.
Yeah. So the problem is that with many pods, we allocate a lot of threads to run these Go routines and maybe some, I don't know, like maybe running some termination pod probes, and when we terminate pods, we also allocate a lot of coroutines. And then Golang have many threads for kubelet, and then we don't remove those threads, even though they don't do anything. They just take my memory. I think somebody suggested during SIG Node meetings that there may be some setting to either limit kubla to subset of CPUs, and it will force kubla to use threads more efficiently, or
This
limit the
might
number
be
of threads altogether.
so in the systemd config of kubelet, you can specify the CPU allocation.
I don't know how to do it in Golang, but potentially
So the
but
yeah, there are Go runtime flags that you can tune. Basically, they're like environment variables that you set for the process. Also, if you set the CPU, if you want to set the CPU set, you can do it with the systemd unit. But I don't know. I mean, I think it would take some experimentation to see like what the correct sort of like configuration would be. So I don't think like we can really make a recommendation. We would just say like, here are the tunables you can use, and like perhaps that could help.
yeah. Do we need to somehow validate that there is no thread leak? Nothing that we can, no Go routines that we should have stopped but didn't stop. Maybe we can ask for stack traces after everything was, after all the pods were deleted.
Well, you can also if they have the pprof endpoint enabled in the kubelet, then you can grab the Go routines. And a leak would look like basically there would be like a whole bunch of them of the same at the same location. We had like some similar sort of situations in cryo a while back, and so leaks are actually pretty obvious looking at Go routine. So that could be another point of debugging.
I think if it's a leak, it's a bug, but if it's just a tune that we need to make on kubelet, then it's probably a feature. So I want to separate those two.
Yeah, I agree.
And it will be nice if you will split like second item, put on top and say, ask them to confirm with pprof if there is a memory leak or like Go routine leak. If it is, then we will keep it as a bug and investigate. If not, then we will move it as a feature and try to find somebody. I mean, if somebody interested in exploring that, then it may be explored. My understanding is it's working as expected. At some point, kubelet like Go will decide to close the threads, and we will be happy again. Yeah, unfortunately, we're almost out of time, and we
Oh,
at the end of the meeting. We're very close to code freeze. I suggest next time we try to concentrate on bugs, and especially like even old bugs that marked as critical or like high priority. Then we can, or no priority at all, and maybe set priority for bugs that doesn't have priority. And hopefully next time we can highlight anything that is need to be addressed soon. I will try to do it offline, and I welcome everybody to do the same, so we can highlight issues that needs to be addressed for release. But worst case, we will just do it next meeting, and
okay.
during the after code freeze, we'll have set of bugs that we want to concentrate on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, I'm trying to log on to the VPN now.